Hello, happy Friday. Emily here with your Live Love Weekly update. Gonna let you know what's been going on in our world. Obviously, you've seen all the posts that we've been putting up, so this is a chance for me to kind of elaborate on everything that's been happening and fill you in on some of the things that we have not yet had a chance to share with you through posts. All right, so let's talk about our intakes for this week. A little bit unconventional because they weren't dogs that we actually took into rescue. They were dogs that were born in rescue. We have 5 beautiful puppies born to Fruit Bat Betty. And thanks to the team's brain power, hard work in here, we're really thinking about this. We gave them some names. So we have fruit names: Melon, Banana, Plum, Pomegranate, and Blueberry. Stay tuned for more pictures of the individual pups, but so far, Mom and everyone are healthy and doing well. Big shout out to Cynthia, their puppy doula, for all of her hard work with the family. Okay, foster to adopt. These are dogs that have started their foster time with their potential adopters in the hopes of finalizing the adoption at the end of their 2-week trial. They would be Penny, who is with Davy Jones, so she's got a little doxy brother. We love alumni adopters, that's the best. Charlie also started a foster to adopt, super excited for him. He's got some, special needs given that he's blind. So we're very grateful to his parents for making sure that he's set up in the best way possible and just giving him the time that he needs to acclimate to his new home. And of course to Ken, his foster dad, for supporting them too. Teddy has got a foster to adopt. I just spoke to him this week about Teddy's ongoing medical recovery, so his physical therapy and things like that. So we're glad to have an adopter who's signing up for that while Teddy heals completely from his surgery. Hector in Colorado, yes, he just came into rescue and he's already going on foster to adopt. We're really excited about that. He's going to have a dental cleaning in the next couple weeks as well, and he has a cuddly campaign up for that, so check the link in our bio. You'll see the cuddly campaigns there for Hector because he's already got an adopter waiting for him, so we want to get those teeth all cleaned up and fixed for the senior boy. Jade has started foster to adopt. You might not remember this or realize it, but Jade is actually one of Fruit Bat Betty's puppies. We took them in at the same time along with Annika, who's expected to have puppies any day now. She's also one of Fruit Bat Betty's offspring. So Jade is going on foster to adopt. She's been spayed, so no puppies ever for her. That's a good thing. And Dobby is also starting her foster to adopt trial, our long-legged beauty. Very excited for that. Okay, so dogs that have been adopted. So their trial has finalized in adoption. Wilson, I can't get enough of him. I just really can't. Those pictures of him with his family, they make me get teary. He's so great. So very special family for him, for a very special dog. Noodle, another very special dog, has been adopted. Esmerelda, very near and dear to my heart. She was adopted by her forever foster family. We thought that Esmerelda was going to be a forever foster, but thankfully we were able to get that tooth out of the roof of her mouth and repair that fistula there. So, and Kristen and Dylan were there every step of the way helping her heal. So we're really, really happy that she's staying with them, the family that she already knows. Same thing with Lovie. Lovie has been adopted by her foster family. They took her in December, got her home for the holidays, and all of her medical is now complete. So she has been adopted. Same thing for Jax. Jax has been adopted. You got to follow his page. We tag him all the time with his updated pictures, him and his little brother, Benny, and the labby boy, Gus. Jax is now adopted. He got neutered. His mom, Jamie, has done an awesome job helping his skin fully heal so that he could be neutered, and his adoption is now final. And Scarlett has been adopted. So we've got a long list there for our finalized adoptions this week. I do want to talk about something that I touched on last week. We have not had any more intakes this week so far from adoption returns, but we've definitely had some support conversations with adopters to try to prevent adoption returns. And I do expect that we will be seeing an increase in these in 2021 in this year. So I want to talk for a moment about that and just be very transparent with our supporters about how we proceed there. Not every home is the right place for every dog. We obviously do a lot up front to vet our adopters and to support them. We touch base with them at the 1 week mark, at the 30-day mark, at the 3-month mark, at the 6-month mark, at the 1 year mark. And we're going to be increasing efforts there. So if you've adopted from us in the past, be ready to hear from us. We actually have a big email going out to all of you offering more supports that we can try to flag potential behavior concerns ahead of time and support you with them to keep your adopted dog in your home with you. So we do expect to see that going forward, as the world sort of opens back up to resume somewhat normalcy. There will be some dogs that, through no fault of their own, the living situation has changed or behaviors have changed or, whatever it might be. So we will always do our best to support you, the humans, and the dog that you adopted from us in your home. But I just want to, flag for everyone of our followers also that we do expect to see some of those coming through. And for that reason, we have closed intake at this time while we work through some pending potential adoption returns of large dogs, and also while we work on getting the dogs that we have in training adopted. So that's a little kind of internal update of what we're planning for throughout the year and what we're seeing becoming a trend right now that we want to stay ahead of. So let's talk about medical, and then I'll speak to you about training. So our medical updates for this week, not too much. Taba was having some upset stomach, diarrhea, vomiting. So she got to see Dr. Kate and team today. Everyone was enamored by how big Amore is. She's huge. She's such a little chunk. She's adorable. And Taba we did another fecal. We dewormed her again. And she got some medications just to help ease her stomach. It's challenging because she's still nursing right now. So we only want to use what's safe for Amore, but Amore also has some pretty big teeth coming in there. So I imagine that she's going to begin weaning very soon. Amore is now a month old. So usually right around there, 4 to 8 weeks, the mom will always tell us when she's done and the puppy will always tell us when they're ready. Then we are definitely going to be introducing that weaning food. So Taba and Amore saw the vet today and they're doing well. Lamb Chop obviously saw the vet this week. Holy moly, that little lammy's skin. A lot going on with her skin. We are waiting for the skin culture to come back, which should be back middle of next week. She has several different strains of bacteria happening on her skin. Not MRSA, but there are 2 strains that are especially resistant to your everyday average run-of-the-mill antibiotics. So we could potentially need to do amikacin, which is incredibly costly. We're going to try clindamycin at the highest dose possible for right now. We're also starting her on ketoconazole, which is an antifungal, because in addition to the bacterial infections, she also has fungal infections. And she's getting a specific medicated shampoo and the whole works. So thank you guys for donating. Please keep contributing to our little lamb chops so that we can make sure that if we need to do 3 weeks or so of amikacin, we can have the funds available for that. That's incredibly expensive, but we'll do it for her. Anything she needs. Juda also saw the vet this week just for a general workup. Her blood work looks good. Just wanted to get that girl checked out. She's a bit of a senior and she's doing well. Okay. Whew. Training. All right. So it tends to happen, especially when we have a month of very high numbers for intakes, which we had in December, that we will see more training needs kind of come about, 4 to 6 to 8 weeks after that, increase of intakes. And this happens because as obviously dogs leave the shelter, their assessments in the shelter are not always going to be perfect. We can't get a full sense of a dog's behavior in the shelter environment. It's just not possible. So we do our best. We get them out into foster care. We follow decompression protocols that we've established, and then we put them up for adoption. And in some cases, After they decompress and we reassess them, we realize this dog has higher training needs than we anticipated, and we'll shift them to a board and train program. In other cases, the dog will get adopted, and either decompression is not followed in the adoptive home, or the adoptive home was not the right fit, or whatever the case may be, the dog becomes trigger stacked, and an incident will recur, like a bite or an altercation with another animal, something like that, that prompts us to really place the dog with a professional trainer to kind of work out that behavior and better understand and assess what that dog needs. So with that being said, that's where we're at right now. We have quite a few dogs in training, and you have to understand that every dog I talk about in training, it's costing the rescue at least $500 a week per dog that is in training. So I'm going to run through briefly which dog it is, which awesome trainer they're working with, and you can sort of add up in your head how much this costs the rescue. And this is another reason why we've closed intake for the most part at this time, just so that we can make sure that we have all the resources we need to provide for these dogs in training and help see them through their rescue journey and on to adoptive placement. So Admiral, we've been talking a lot about Admiral this week. Admiral is with Lisa, who is also our vice president and the director of Live Love Dog Training. She also runs all of our adoptions. She wears many hats. Gotta love her. And Admiral, you can see his information in our stories right now. He's got a little highlight on our Instagram bio too. Excuse me, not our bio. The highlights area of Instagram. Admiral has a highlight there. We're going to start featuring more of these training stories for you guys so you can understand what steps we take as a nonprofit, as a rescue, to really see the dogs through their journey. And also that we can't always anticipate exactly what the dogs need exactly when we take them in. So this is why if you see us continuing to reach out for help and donations, that's because the dogs have shown us, hey, I'm going to have more costs and needs associated with me, because those are the kind of dogs that we like to rescue, I think, guys. They find us. So Admiral is working through resource guarding with food and toys. He does have a bite on record. Actually, all of these dogs I'm going to talk to you about have a bite on record. Atticus is with our amazing friends and family at Humble Canine, and John and Mo are doing an awesome job with him. Atticus is deaf, and he has a couple low-level bites on record from really people not being able to read his body signals very well. And I will tell you, it's challenging to read his body signals. He also can startle very easily because he is deaf, so he really needs to make sure that he sees you coming. So he just has a couple little, unique traits about him that was a learning curve for our team to fully understand and assess. And the team at Humble Canine are doing a great job really highlighting his personality and making sure that, although we've continued to assess his needs, we really love having the second opinion, so to speak, from our trusted trainers to make sure that we're really doing our best, that we, doing the best that we can do for Atticus. He's a sweetheart. Dinah is in board and train with Dog World Order with Awesome Allen, and she's doing well. She's an example of a dog who was adopted and returned because a bite incident occurred in the adoptive home. Very soon into the adoption, she was on the porch, and a new person that she'd never met before came up onto the porch and immediately went to go pet her. Dinah didn't like that. So again, a really insecure, a warning type of instance that, puts a bite on her record. And we really wanted to reevaluate that behavior before, adopting her out right away. She definitely had other people that wanted to meet her, but we wanted to really evaluate that further. So Dinah is doing great. Fun fact, Admiral is dog social. Atticus, dog indifferent. He doesn't care. Dinah, dog social, and cats. She doesn't even really mind. So that's awesome, right? Because they're all, just kind of finding their way throughout their rescue journey and showing us, hey, I might have these traits that need some extra consideration, but I also have all these amazing attributes that make me a wonderful companion. So that's what we're pulling out in, a very respectful way through the training process with these dogs. Speaking of dog social, Rocky. He is with Aubrey. Mwah, we love you, Aubrey, from Beezy's pack. And he is really shining there. I mean, he's showing us how playful he is. He's a senior lab, but he is totally good with every dog that he's met, which was his biggest problem, reactivity to other animals. He has a bite on record that happened when there was an altercation with another dog and human hand got bit, breaking the dogs up. So to see Rocky really doing so well with the other dogs is just amazing to us. And it really highlights that what it boils down to for Rocky and for many, many dogs, it is the energy of the human being that dictates what the dog's behavior is going to be. So with a balanced, confident leader like Aubrey, Rocky is very dog social. Whereas in former placements, he hasn't been. And he was even starting to react to people out of a need to be protective of his handler. So Rocky, we're going to find you the right home, buddy. Don't you worry. And speaking of finding the right home, Liam is the dog that's been in training the longest. He has been with Robert from Bionic Dog. Robert, you're doing a remarkable job with Liam. He's been there for 2 months now. And Liam is a very special case. He does have a bite on record, and it's actually a higher level bite than any of the other dogs I've referenced. And it occurred in the shelter environment after he had been there for 6 months. And he became very overstimulated. Liam is a dog that was probably used for breeding, or, you know, he was really, people had him around for his looks and for maybe the status symbol that he represented. He's a gorgeous dog. And they did not socialize him, and they didn't help him learn basic cues of being a companion dog. So he's relearning all of that with Robert. He's doing a great job. We will be promoting him for a foster to adopt in the coming weeks, along with his our partners and his biggest advocates, Blockhead Brigade. So stay tuned for more about Liam, and please help us share his story specifically and especially because he's really going to take finding that kind of needle in the haystack sort of person that's going to be very committed to his training and is going to be really self-aware of their own energy and how their energy affects him. All right, guys, I think this is our longest weekly video ever in the history of Live Love. But I always love updating you about what we're doing because you're such a huge part of it. You are a rescuer too. Thank you guys so much for all that you do for our organization. I know we ask a lot of you, and it seems like the need is never ending. That's true. It is a never-ending need, and thank you for doing anything that you can do in the moment to help us help these dogs along their rescue journey, whether that be commenting, tagging, sharing, donating, volunteering, adopting, fostering, all of it. We appreciate everything that you do. Much love to all of you. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you next week.